Putting their hand out to extend their hand in friendship and trying to pull you in a direction in which, you know, you might want to go, but you might not actually have the tools to go that way. And like they kind of help, you know, guide you in the right way.
Welcome back to City Corner. Helping us to better understand ARCHS, or the Area Resources for Community and Human Services, is the CEO, Wendell Kimbrough, and he's joining us here on City Corner today. And you just saw a clip from an ex-offender in the ARCHS ex-offender program. We were talking before the break about how ARCHS is an umbrella organization. It doesn't provide services directly to like their clients, but there are programs that are highly successful like this ex-offender program. Talk about it.
Well, our ex-offender program is probably, it's one of our best examples. We, in concert with the Department of Corrections, with the state of Missouri, as well as U.S. Eastern Probation in the state of Missouri, partnered with 26 other organizations to create a strategy to help ex-offenders successfully re-enter society. What we found in doing the preliminary research is that if you don't have a job, which is obvious, but if you don't properly re-engage with your family, then you're more than likely going to re-enter into the system and go back to prison. So the ARCHS ex-offender program was a holistic system, a holistic program that created entree into spirituality, as well as learning how to re-engage with your family, as well as how to learn how to interview for jobs, and more importantly, identify those things that you were interested in prison, and then come into society and become an auto mechanic perhaps, become a culinary chef, become a carpenter, you name it. Through those 26 programs, we had a little bit of everything as it related to job reentry. But the big piece was re-engaging with the family in order to successfully come back into society.
And you've been highly successful with this program.
We have been highly successful. 680 young men and women went through the program. We're very proud to say that 340 of those people found full-time, real living wage jobs. We estimated that over a year's time, that's going to amount to $5.8 million in new jobs that will be paying for families, paying for housing, paying for transportation, food, etc. But the most important component is on the other side, $5.2 million is exactly what it would have cost to reincarcerate those young people again. So we have a positive swing for the St. Louis metropolitan area of just under $11 million.
Now, you mentioned just about half of them are full-time employed and doing well. What about the other half at this point?
The others are still in programs. The others already had jobs, fortunately, coming out of society, and some are still in classes. Our effective rate was right at 96%, and we are hopeful that that will continue to be as high.
Now, is the program varying in length of time depending on what the needs are of the individual?
Depending on what, you're right, depending on what the individual needs. If the individual had a trade prior to going into the system, if the individual gained a trade or gained certification while in the system, then it's going to be easier for he or she to come out and re-engage from an occupational standpoint. However, we still want that young person, in most instances it is a young person, to build a spiritual base, re-engage with family. They still have to be be taught how to effectively communicate, how to go on job interviews, how to re-engage with the general public at large.
Okay, we heard from one of the ex-offenders that went through the program right before we came out to our interview. You've got some success stories too.
A number of our young people have become sous chefs in some of the metropolitan St. Louis area's more well-known restaurants. We have young men that are in apprenticeship programs with the various trade unions, as well as through Rankin's automotive program. But probably the best anecdote is that at one of our graduations, a mother-in-law told us that she would not have paid 2 cents for her son before he went into our program, and she can't believe how successful he's been as it relates to re-engaging with the family, more importantly, keeping a consistent job over the period of time prior to the graduation. Probably our greatest antidote.
What are, you also provide transportation.
Exactly. I mean, it's a holistic program that keeps us, that allows us to assure that young person that he or she has no excuses for not getting to their classes, getting to any of the spirituality-based programs, or properly re-engaging with their probation officers, or if it's a re-engagement with the family through one of our providers, Father Support Center. We've got all the mechanisms in place to hopefully engage that person at a 96 to 98 percentile success rate.
I think we probably have some viewers out there who are experiencing something of what that mother had expressed to you. You know, they're frustrated. They've done everything they can for this young person, but they've been incarcerated, and now they don't know what to do with them. So the relief is phenomenal. How can they get involved in the program and find out more information?
To find out more about the program, simply get on ARCHS website, STLARCHS.org, and take a look at the program. There are a litany of numbers that they may call to gather information regarding their eligibility for the program.
Wonderful. Now, if ARCHS doesn't provide the program, it's directly to the clients. They partner with other community organizations in order to provide this ex-offender reentry program through ARCHS. So by contacting them, they can get you the information you need. Now, ARCHS also provides other resources and services through their community-based organizations, and one of them is an after-school program called the After School for All Partnership here in St. Louis. And we're going to hear more about that when we come back, so don't go away.